Hello everyone, back again with another video, and this is my first non-vinyl tag video of the 2026 year. So to start things off with regular videos, I'm going to be doing some soundtracks from the 1980s. Stick around and we will see you on the flip side. Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy, and I am doing a soundtrack video. That is right. I just celebrated my third year in the VC a couple weeks ago, and I have never done a soundtrack video. I've talked about soundtracks, but never done soundtracks in my collection. So this is going to be kind of a three-part installment. Most of my soundtracks are from the 1980s. So this video here are 1980s films that I have seen. And then I'm probably going to have to break up the rest of my soundtracks into two other videos, which I have not seen them. I'm not a big movie buff or anything like that, so that is why I've never really done a soundtrack video, because it's kind of difficult for me to talk about them when I don't really know that many movies. So I think I have 8 or 9 here that I'm going to show. These are in alphabetical order. I will discuss which ones are my favorites. In fact, one of these is a cheat. It's from the early 1990s, but the remainder of these are from the 1980s. So here we go, 80 soundtracks alphabetically. We're going to start with my cheat, which is the Backdraft motion picture soundtrack original score. And I had to get this one when I did. I did have to order this one from Europe. I believe I got it in Italy. I think this is an Italian press. But of course, this features William Baldwin, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and my personal favorite one that is in here is definitely Donald Sutherland, who is an arsonist in the movie, but he kind of guides the fire department to assistance on who is, setting all the fires that are in this movie. So if you like firefighter type movies, then you're definitely going to like this film if you haven't seen it. One of my favorite movies of all time. Actually, love this movie. And yeah, the big thing about this one is that it does have Bruce Hornsby and The Range on it. Set Me in Motion and The Show Goes On are the two big singles from this. Another reason that I did purchase it, I've talked about Bruce Hornsby before, one of my favorite American musicians. So Backdraft, check this one out, and just a really stunning cover on there, of course, of William Baldwin rescuing the child in the movie. And as I mentioned, this is like I said, I think it's an Italian pressing. Yes, it is. Well, this one's made in France, but it's on the Milan label, which is probably why I thought it was from Italy. So there you go. You don't see too many Milan labels. Backdraft, my first, I guess, cheat in this series. All right, my next film soundtrack, and this is the original soundtrack recording. I used to listen to this with my brother. My mom had this on CD. One of the most, I guess, in my opinion, depressing movies of the 80s. But I have seen it at least a dozen or more times. My mom used to watch this. And of course, this is the famous Beaches soundtrack, original soundtrack, starring, of course, Barbara Hershey and Bette Midler, who most of the songs are sung and written by, I believe, on this. So yeah, there's Under the Boardwalk, which is, of course, a cover of the 1964 track Wind Beneath My Wings, which is the depressing song. that is on here. But my favorite one on here is I Know You by Heart, which is on side B, The Glory of Love, and then there's a whole pile of other ones. Oh Industry, which is kind of a creepier song, but this is the backside. And of course, if you were not familiar with this movie, it's about, it starts off with two young girls living in different worlds. You know, one is definitely from a very well-off family, and the other one not so much, getting into the acting industry and stuff like that. And then as they grow older, they grow apart. Of course, Bette Midler is a musician in the film, and she's performing at a concert in the beginning and finds out that her friend Barbara Hershey in the film is come down with a sudden terminal illness, and Bette Midler goes to help. You know, she goes on a journey remembering, you know, how they came to be and their friendship and them growing up. And then Bette Midler ends up kind of helping take care of her daughter at the end. And yeah, not going to give any spoilers, but definitely a sad, tragic movie. So Beaches, what year is that? Oh, 1988, Touchstone Pictures. And that one there is on just the regular green and red Atlantic label. So there we go, movie number 2. Movie number 3, this is my most recent, I wouldn't say purchase, but my most recent record. I got this one for Christmas. I did show this I think as part of my year-end video, if I remember right. But this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Bloodsport, cult classic. I think this is from 1987, 88. This particular pressing is a 2021 press. Of course, this features Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bolo Yeung going to fight in the famous Kumite. And Jean-Claude Van Damme, who plays the Frank Dukes character, is doing it in honor of his mentor, who is ill at the beginning. And of course, he ends up, spoiler alert, winning the Kumite, and lots of montages and things like that. The funny thing about this particular album is, and of course there you see the Bolo Yeung, who plays Shang Li, and Frank Dukes is, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme in the final scene with the judges in the background. But funny enough, every single song that is on this, I can recite all the lines from the movie as this plays. So 2 records, and of course, because of 21 pressing, you know, gotta have the cool label there with Jean-Claude Van Damme giving the kick to the chest of Chong Li in the soundtrack. So there we go, Bloodsport, 1988. All right, this is perhaps, I would argue, probably one of the top 10 most famous movies from the 1980s. My wife loves this movie, and I know lots of other women and men that do love this movie. Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey, and Dirty Dancing. But my personal favorite character in this, of course, is Jerry Orbach. Always liked him from the Law and Order series, things like that. And of course, once again, it's the whole, takes place, I think, in the 1960s, if memory serves me right. And, you know, just 2 differing lifestyles of people. Of course, Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze in the movie kind of fall in love, and he teaches her how to dance and all that good stuff. But there's some great songs on here. Of course, Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes' Time of My Life, but Patrick Swayze's She's Like the Wind, kind of his one-hit wonder. Abode and Eric Carmen's Hungry Eyes, Be My Baby by the Ronettes, Hey Baby, Bruce Channel. These are all great tunes, and of course, if you like the dancing and all that kind of stuff and a decent storyline, Dirty Dancing might be your thing. And what label is that on? That is just on the RCA label. And it does have all the lyrics on the inner sleeve. All right, another famous movie. This is a sequel, part 2, so to speak, but definitely has a very famous song on it. And of course, that is The Karate Kid Part 2. Peter Cetera's Glory of Love is on this. That is the big one that almost pretty much made this movie. But of course, the wax on, wax off. And there you have, Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita on the front cover. Recently showed this on our Wednesday night show. Compared this actually to another cover, the Crossroads soundtrack from the 1980s, in which Ralph Macchio is also on the cover with an elderly gentleman, but not Pat Morita. So I'm not here to speak on behalf of that movie, but Karate Kid Part 2. I'm sure most of us have seen this one and are very familiar with The Glory of Love. Decent soundtrack, but pretty much known for that one song. And that is on the United Artists Records. Kind of a neat label there with the triangle. Right, how many more do I got? Got, I think 3 more here. Yes, 3 more. Now this next one, I haven't seen it since it came out. It's been decades since I've seen this movie, but I love the soundtrack. Of course, a lot of people think that is done by Ritchie Valens, but the entire, well, not the entire soundtrack, but most of the soundtrack is actually done by Los Lobos. And a cool story about Los Lobos, when I was in, oh no, that's Los Bravos, so no cool story there, but Los Lobos does La Bamba. They also do Come On, Let's Go. They do Donna. So all the tracks by Ritchie Valens, and of course this is about the life of Ritchie Valens and the lead up to the crash, the day the music died, and then kind of the aftermath of that. And it features Asai Morales, Rosanna DeSoto, and Elizabeth Pena. But a really famous, I mean, we might even call it not a documentary, but maybe a, biopic kind of a movie. So, yes, La Bamba with Los Lobos playing most of it. And I'll show the label. That is on the Warner Brothers label right there. Right, 2 more to go. This next one, once again, loved this movie when I was a kid. Loved the soundtrack. Been a little bit since I've seen this movie, but it's just absolutely fantastic, and you can't go wrong with a Luftdragon, and that is The Neverending Story. Of course, featuring the hit single, The Neverending Story by Limahl. And for those of you that might not know, Limahl was in the band Kajagoogoo in the 1980s, and then he kind of went solo and he did his thing. And he was asked to do the Neverending Story soundtrack along with Giorgio. Yes, that's right. Giorgio Moroder right there. And of course, there is Limahl looking fancy and dapper on the back. I actually have that Limahl album, but it has it goes through the entire segment of the movie, The Neverending Story, which kicks things off in the movie, and then the Swamps of Sadness, the Ivory Tower, Bastion's Happy Flight, all of these different things, Falkor. It's all on there. Of course, the Rock Monster. Super cool movie. If you haven't seen that one, definitely give that one a go. EMI America. The simple, sorry about the glare, but there you go. EMI America Records. And last but not least, this one here was always a funny one to me. 2 unusual characters. Never really would have thought that they would get together for a movie. But of course, because the movie is about I guess you would say, a science experiment or a genetic experiment, so to speak. Short and tall, fat and slim, that kind of thing. If you know what I'm talking about, we're talking about the movie Twins, featuring Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, who it turns out are brothers, but don't know that they're brothers. And Arnold finds out that he has a brother somehow. I can't remember exactly how it goes. And he goes looking for his brother, and they're complete polar opposites. And then at the end of the movie, they realize that their mother is not dead, and they meet her. And then, of course, they meet a couple of women along the way in the movie. And then at the end, each of them have sets of twins. So, yeah, Twins, the original motion picture soundtrack. I think the two big hits off of here were Yakety Yak on Danny's side. So side one is actually called Danny's side. So that's Danny DeVito. And that's the Two Live Crew version of Yakety Yak. So a kind of a sleazy rap song on that one. And then the big one is Arnold's side, I'd Die for This Dance. Country musician Nicolette Larson, Jeff Beck. Life taken a little bit too soon, tragically, unfortunately, in the 80s or early 90s. But there you go. Twins, the motion picture soundtrack. And to finish it off, I'll show the label. And that is on the Epic label. I do believe that was like 9 records on 9 different labels. So that's kind of cool. And so there you go. Those are the movies from the 1980s that I have seen. In the coming weeks, months, I will do a few more videos. Those are the ones that I will not have seen from the 1980s. Please don't criticize me on those, because some of them are big movies that I have never seen, which is absolutely insane. Come to think of it, I really should put them on and check them out. And then, of course, others not so big. So let me know down in the comments. Have you seen any of these movies that I just showed their soundtracks? Do you own any of these soundtracks? And what are your thoughts about some of the songs that came off those soundtracks? So let me know down in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, click that subscribe button. And for those of you that are returning viewers, once again, I am pushing to 350 and more, 400. I would love to get to 400 subs by the end of the year, and always nice to have you back. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. And until next time, we will see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.